Let's talk about the skill sets you need to become a business analyst. All right, I'm going to talk about the most important ones. So what is going on, guys? I'm the BA Tutor. Welcome to this channel where I talk all things in the world of the business analyst and other areas of IT. So if you guys are interested in that, please do hit that subscribe button down below. That is the best way to support the channel. All right, so here we go, people. So every important skill you need to become a business analyst. So look, there's a multitude of skills that obviously you need to become a business analyst, but I was thinking about just boiling it down to the absolute crucial skills where if I am interviewing somebody for the role of the business analyst, these are the main skills I'm looking at. Everything else would be nice, it'd be gravy, it'd be extra on top, but these are the key must-haves. These are the deal breakers that I need for my BA. So this is what you should focus on as you go on this journey of trying to become a business analyst. So the first one, I've talked about this ad nauseum, people, but I will continue to do so because it is that important. And that is the ability to communicate effectively. This is everything. All right, and I started with it because it is that important. To me, this is probably the most important skill, period, because if you have everything else, but you do not have the ability to communicate effectively, then nothing else matters as much. Let me explain. So for a business analyst, a lot of your role is people-to-people interaction with different, areas, right? We're talking about stakeholders. We also have developers. We've got, project managers. And so in order to do your job, you need to be able to communicate effectively between all of the different parties that you're dealing with, right? And it's not a role where, you're a developer, you're a coder, and all you need to know is be able to code well, and that's it. And a lot of the interaction you have doesn't matter a lot. No, this is a different role. And that's why communicating effectively is crucial. Work on this. Work on this soft skill to be able to talk to different types of, folks in terms of the different types of roles, but be able to articulate what you need to say properly, okay? Because you are going to need to learn how to articulate yourself differently to the different roles that you come across. And a lot of this is just learned by experience, but you can obviously also practice this. There's a ton of information on the internet. I have some videos on it as well. Check out my courses. But this to me is huge. You got to be able to communicate effectively. It starts and ends with this one, all right? The next one, adequate technical skills. All right. So this is, to me, pretty important as well. And when I say adequate technical skills, I'm trying to make sure that I don't, talk about the fact that you need to know every single tool that's out there. All you need to know is you have to be adequate at it, all right? And you have to kind of know what you're doing. And so with the business analyst role, you fall somewhere in the middle of a technical role and a non-technical role, right? It's right in the middle because it's not like you are completely, business facing and you have no absolute, tools that you need to use, but it's also not you're coding 24/7. So it's somewhere in the middle and you need to be adequate at that. So you have to be, to me, in my book, you have to be adequate at all of the Microsoft tools, right, that are out there, like Office, Visio, PowerPoint. You got to be able to know all those, and Excel, obviously, and know how to work those very well. So if you don't have that, gain that skill set ASAP. Obviously, a ton of information out there to be able to do it, a ton of free stuff that you can use to go ahead and get that information. And so this one, to me, bare minimum, you got to be able to do all that. Then there's the SQL queries aspect of it where, I think I even spelled it wrong. Let me see here. You get my point. And so with regards to, this, it doesn't happen in every single role. There's certain companies that will have you do it, certain companies that won't, but you want to be able to, go ahead and use it. And that's another thing. And then you want to be able to be adaptable, because companies will use different tools. Like there'll be tools like Jira, there'll be tools like ServiceNow, and you want to be able to adapt to all these tools where, you know, you store requirements and you have to be able to know, you know, kind of how to work all of them. And that technical knowledge is going to come to play in here. Now, this isn't all of it, but that's why I said you have to be adequate at it. Sometimes you might have to, you know, document process flows. Sometimes you might have to, you know, pull up a spreadsheet and run a bunch of data. And that's why I'm telling you, like, it's not a one-all be-all, but you have to be adequate at it. And that's why I say you don't have to know every tool under the sun, but you have to be adaptable to where you can learn it, but you need to get the basics down, right? Get the basics down, and that is really gonna help you in your role, okay? And then the third one to me, which is very underrated, is the ability to problem solve, okay? This one, crucial. Why? Because a lot of your role is going to be problem solving in the sense of, look, you need to have this attribute as it'll make your life a lot easier, right? When you look at the definition of the business analyst, you're talking about somebody who is going to be gathering the requirements from the stakeholders and translating them over to the development side. Well, in order for you to have effective and adequate, you know, requirements, you have to ask the right questions. You have to be able to problem solve and figure out what's wrong with it. It's just something that is good to have in every single role, right? The business analyst role is not the only one, but it's good to have it in every single role. Always have that problem solving mindset of, look, I'm not just trying to be a robot and hear what the business is saying to me and then just writing it and translating it all over to the development team. I have to understand what they're telling me. I have to understand, hey, is this, you know, correct, or are they missing certain aspects of it? Am I asking the right questions? Is this something that we need to do? Is this something that's already being done? Is this, you know, throwaway work? You have to ask all those questions so that by the time it gets to the developers, they don't have a lot of questions for you because you've already done that problem solving at the beginning. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of handoffs here where the stakeholders give you the requirements and you're just translating them to developers. They have a bunch of questions, so you go back to the stakeholders and then they go ahead and, you know, answer those questions, but then there comes with other questions and they don't understand it. And so these two people speak two different languages and you got to be able to translate that. And so that's why the problem solving helps here so much. So be able to problem solve, really be analytical, really try to be strategic about it and understand all of the things that come into play here. Don't just be a robot about it and just, you know, go through step 1, 2, 3, and 4 without thinking. Be analytical, be problem solving. It's something you and your future self will appreciate and your team will appreciate. So those to me are probably the 3 most important skill sets you need to have as a BA. So again, communicate effectively, adequate technical skills, and ability to problem solve. If you have these 3, you add that with the experience, I mean, you should have no problem landing a job as a business analyst. So hopefully this helps you guys out. If it does, please do go ahead and subscribe down below. Helps me out a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next video.